This is going to be part 2 of my Geo room tour. And for this video, we're going to be taking a look at this wall behind my camera that's very rarely ever seen. So hang around and I'll see you in 2 and 2. Hopefully somebody got that reference. Go with part 2 of my Geo room tour. This is going to be a little bit different because I'm not using a ring light. There's a lot of stuff that's going to reflect, and I would rather just not have all the glare. And there's less dollies, more vehicles, and more personal items in my collection. This is also the wall that no one ever sees because my camera faces out, and this wall's never really viewed. So let's take a look and we'll just go through it all. I'm going to start over here. This is my USS flag box art poster from 3djoes.com. Going to have a lot of those posters on this wall. Here is my G.I. Joe Skystorm X-Wing hanging on the wall. There's the pilot. Up here is the Silent Strike Sky Striker. And then next to it here, this is a click and play FA-18 Super Hornet. And I put Joe stickers on it. Really awesome vehicle. It's got great paint apps and washes, and it just comes like this right out of the box. But I also put Maverick Pete Mitchell's markings on this aircraft because if you remember in part 1 of the Geo room tour, I showed my custom Maverick figure. Well, this is his F-18. So I decided to make that. And then right here is a modern Skyhawk with glass in the canopy, so I kind of appreciated that. Here is a B-25 Mitchell from Leonard the Corps, a fantastic aircraft. It's got lights and sounds and the whole 9 yards, and I put Joe markings on it. You can see the 99, so it belongs to the USS flag carrier group, but I've just put some Joe markings on it. Really awesome aircraft, and you can see the size of that thing next to other aircraft hanging on my wall. It's massive, and that's what she said. Here's a Terradrome box art poster from 3djoes.com. This is the Avatar aircraft, rotary wing, attack vehicle, actually, whatever. And then up there is my Mud Fighter. There is my modern Conquest. This is a Joe Fest 2022 poster signed by Brian Shearer. And then we're gonna go this way. These are my Transformers. This is my Masterpiece Soundwave. There you see Rumble. That is the Mega Hiss or Megatron Hiss crossover. I really like the face sculpt on that guy. It's a good face sculpt. I believe that's a Quintesson, right? Yeah, pretty sure. Super 7. There is the Revenge of Chronos Psykill. Freaking awesome figure. Obviously Devastator, right? Everybody needs a Devastator. That's a later model of Devastator. I believe it's a KO version, but either way, he's rad and I like him. There is Galvatron in phallic, not bot mode. Yeah. And then that is my Masterpiece Shockwave. And one thing I got to say about him, he doesn't have any vac metallized parts or nothing chromed out. He's just kind of blech. I like it, but I think compared to some of the other Masterpiece Transformers, they kind of phoned it in. And there's some Energon on a little skid. And then we'll move down here. There's one of my tripwire kit bashes, because again, I have them all over the place. Down here is Hound. Again, I apologize for the shadows, but I don't want the glare. There's Hound right there. Behind Hound, I have just a little Scarlet trading card hanging out. Here is my Checkpoint Alpha. Behind Checkpoint Alpha, I have a UNSC Halo vehicle with a Resolute Scarlet and a Kitbash Duke on it. This is a 1993 placemat. Why not, right? Every adult man-child needs a placemat. Need to have that. This is the Walmart Retro Awestriker, and I made it a Transformers Beachcomber. So you can kind of see that. I just put different weaponry on him and just kind of G'd him up. It's pretty fun. This is Exo Squad mech walker, and the 4-inch figures fit great in that thing. I was really surprised and happy about that too. World Made of Cardboard made me this. There's going to be a lot of times in this video where I'm just reaching for things because there's stuff all over the place. But World Made of Cardboard made me this awesome ammo crate. And he gave that to me at Joe Fest this year, and I love it. There's a Pack Rat. There's another one of the more modern Transformers. Forget his name, whatever, but he's there. Another one of my Tripwire kit bashes. This thing is awesome. So this is the G.I. Joe classic detachable keychain figures. It's the Action Pilot. It's sealed, and it's a pretty rad find. I don't have the others, but I did find this guy in my travels. Yeah, you can see the price on it, but you know, again, I try to not talk prices. And then we'll come down here. This has the gun. It's just down inside, and I don't want to take breaker out and have to tip it upside down to get the gun out, because it just becomes a pain. But yeah, I have the gun for it. And then, don't anybody tell the ATF, but ooh, I got some big rounds. This was a gift to me. Someone just gifted me, I think it was Joe Ricondo, but somebody gifted me ammunition. So it just hangs out in here. And a lot of the stuff on this wall is things that were gifted to me, or, you know, things that aren't necessarily dollies and vehicles again. Over here, that is my Megaforce Delta Mark III that was 3D printed. Actually, it's not a Delta Mark IV because the Delta Mark IV is experimental, right? It has flight capabilities, and this one does not, thank you. And then I have one of the little motorized, you know, Battlematic action pack doodad things here, but it's like the scooter one. You know, you push it back and it goes forward. Here's the machine gun defense unit. There's the bivouac. Back here, I have these patches. Service members, we like to trade patches and gift patches. This was given to me. This is a patch that commemorates the 60th anniversary of almost pushing the button in 1962. I thought this was pretty rad. And then, yeah, there's another one. So I got a lot of patches and challenge coins and things like that over on this wall. So I'll put that back where it was. Right here, this is First Sergeant from Chicken Fried Toys, and it's the likeness of Michael Bell, who was the voice actor of Duke in the Sunbow animated series. Pretty rad figure. I just got him in the mail not that long ago, too. Behind First Sergeant Bell are two more of the Pack Rats. This is a sealed 1986 sticker calendar. Again, just another little fun thing in my collection. This is my 3D printed Megaforce Mega Destroyer. And just like my Delta Mark III, not Mark IV, the only thing that I'm missing for my Megaforce vehicles are the bolts. You know, they're hard to make. Someone was gonna make them for me, but as of yet has not. So yeah, they have to be like cry cut. But anyway, there's my Mega Destroyer. I was really happy with how that came out. And then here's another one of the Battlematic action packs. I have them just interspersed all over the place. There's a couple of Halo figures, and then this is one of those Final Faction little rocket walkers. You know, fun little dollar store stuff. And then we'll come down here. I have the Halo figure that came with the Mantis, which is pretty rad. This is a box of sealed Joe cards. Just, you know, thought it was fun. Picked it up. It's sealed. I'm leaving it sealed. And yeah, pretty cool. G.I. Joe Swamp Masher. There's the Armadillo with a version of Scarlet with a helmet on. Duke, some weapons crates, things like that. Another Tripwire Kit Bash. And there's another one of those Stalker Shore Trooper guys. There's just one of the MP figures from Rise of Cobra. Another missile defense unit. This is my complete Silver Mirage. Don't look at it too hard because it'll probably fall apart. They're very fragile. This is just a little missile pod from a Leonard the Cord Jeep, and I just kind of rip them off, and I just use them here and there. I kind of like it. To me, the coolest thing on this shelf is this coloring book. I don't remember where I got this. I think it came in like a Christmas box. And here you can see my cool Cobra character rug. The ma'am got me that. But the neatest thing about this coloring book is it's partially colored in. And for some reason, I think that's so rad because some kid had this comic book or this coloring book, as you were actually, who loved G.I. Joe, who colored in this coloring book, and he only colored so much. But, you know, I hope whoever this kid was still loves G.I. Joe. And it's just fun that it's partially colored. So I'm just keeping it as it is. I don't want to finish coloring in it. I just want to leave it kind of, you know, for posterity's sake. But yeah, some kid colored in this book and then stopped. I have to be really careful because I will knock a bunch of stuff down. And then down here at the ground level, here's the box for my MP29 Shockwave. This is the True Hero Sentinel-1 hovercraft. Such a fantastic vehicle. It has the ramp that drops down. It has the M1A2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicle that comes out of it. A lot of space, lots of playability with this vehicle. It's got these little pullback Nerf launchers, and you can see the Nerf darts over here. I have Shipwreck driving this thing. Don't ask me why, but he's driving it. It lights up, the fans move, etc. And then there's Sci-Fi and General Hawk, man, in the gun turrets. This is my Battle Force 2000 Dominator. Not the biggest fan of Battle Force 2000, even though they did invent the Build-A-Figure with the Build-A-Base concept. And there is a retro Walmart Stalker in the top of the vehicle because I thought the greens went well. But this is my favorite Battle Force 2000 vehicle, and it's the only one that I have that's complete. And then we'll come over here. This is Valor vs. Venom Striker with the Cobra Claw figure. These sets were kind of rad. Yeah, they just mini vehicle. They got a figure. They make sounds, or they have action features. Pretty fun. And then up here on this shelf, again with the patches. So this is my Heavy Weapons Company's morale patch. I was in that unit for about 4 or 5 years. This is my last combat patch. This is the 41st Infantry Brigade Combat Team, also known as the Jungleers. You can look it up. Rich history with the 41st. And my infantry battalion belongs to this Infantry Brigade Combat Team. So that's the last combat patch that I earned. Here's one of those domes. It's Cobra Commander because, why not? They're fun. Another pack of cards, just kind of hanging out, sealed. And then I have Bobblehead Duke, Bobblehead Gung Ho, and behind them, that is toy photography done by KB Jodographs or Keith Bradshaw. And it was one of the most stunning, brutal, gorgeous pieces of toy photography that he did. I loved it so much. He was kind enough to print it, frame it, and he sent it to me. So that's another one of those really personal pieces in my collection that I absolutely love. Up here on this shelf, I have some Delta 17. This is one of the little postcards that they gave me at Joe Fest this year. I have it's hard to do this with one hand. The Dread Trooper from Chris at Grindhouse Toys. This is the case that the figures came in at Joe Fest. To put action figures in VHS cases, it's such a great idea. And Adam Riches helped out with the box art for this figure. So if you remember, I showed 2 of these figures on my Cobra shelf, and I actually put created Cobra heads on them. So yeah, there's that. And then I have volumes 1 and 2 of the Dixon Atkins run of G.I. Joe. I should probably back my camera up. Of G.I. Joe that Jeremy Jernigan and I were going through for Joe's Talking Joe. Next to that, I have one of the G.I. Joe Locusts. This is not the one that comes with the General. This is the later one. And then behind that, I have the Valaverse Action Force Stand Solo 5 POA Desert Rat signed and sealed. So I have an extra one of those that's carded, just hanging out in the back. And yeah. Up here on this shelf, I just have a Cobra Rattler mouse pad. Again, it's just kind of for the artwork. This is a Baroness piece of art made by everyone's favorite artist, Hans Chow. And he personalized it for the ma'am. I got that this year at Joe Fest. Arguably my favorite, and probably arguably the best, troop builder from A Real American Hero is the Battle Corps Headhunter Stormtrooper. Here's a sealed version of him. And yeah, there he is. Moving up again, next to my Transformers. Anyway, here's the little G.I. Joe belt carrying case that holds a couple of figures. There's an Arbco pin, G.I. Joe hat. I like the artwork on the bill of that hat. This is a Pac-Man arcade cabinet mug that the ma'am got me. This was a Christmas present from last year. Love it, really cool. And then this is the Not Creo set, the Cobra Ferret and Storm Shadow. Over here, this is my G.I. Joe Brawler. And as much as I loved the Brawler, these really bright weapons and, the smoke pots and everything really screamed Night Force to me. So I made this a Night Force vehicle, manned by nothing but modern General Hawks. Because those things were going like 3 for $10 on eBay for a while from Chinese sellers. So yeah, so I made a Night Force Brawler, gray and black. And I really like it in Night Force. And that's kind of the way I see my Brawler. This is just an Army helicopter that I got in a set. Pretty fun. There's the G.I. Joe Thunderwing based on the F-22 Raptor. This is one of the newer Transformers. This is Nacelle. Again, Joe Fest poster. Here's another one of the 3D Joe posters where it's the vehicle box art. This tank, I got it off Amazon. You can see it has Autobot and Joe markings on it because I made it into a custom Autobot Warpath in vehicle mode. Up here is that's my camouflage Conquest. There is my original Conquest with O-ring slipstream in it. This is my G.I. Joe Rock, and I love the Rock. It's a fantastic vehicle. All sorts of toyetic play features to it. You know, it launches the stealth fighter, even though, as Jesse from JLS Comics loves to point out, that is not a fighter. It's actually a tactical bomber, but yeah, they gave it the F designation for the F-117. This is one of the Final Faction buggies, and it fits perfectly inside of the Rock, so I stuck it in there. That's what she said. And then there's a DG Shipwreck and Duke manning that buggy. Over here, I have a G.I. Joe cup that came from the Cup and Dish set. Remember when Grunt was the face of G.I. Joe? So do I. And there's some fighters that were never made for G.I. Joe. Vamp, Clutch, Zap. This cup's in fantastic condition. One of my really good friends gave me this because he came across it in some antique store. Really awesome. Behind that cup is the Augusta Toy and Comics Show poster with some Transformers on it. There's my G.I. Joe Raider. That's a dollar store vehicle. I just put all the black accent lines on it from the lines in the molding. I put some Joe markings on it, and hey, it's the X-71 Alpha. So, you know, in keeping with Joe using experimental aircraft, I thought it worked out just fine. Again, my G.I. Joe Raider. Next to my Raider is this cup that I just picked up at Southwest Toy Mania, and it's a Crazy Legs cup, which I've never seen before. But yeah, there it is. Pretty rad. Interesting rendering of Crazy Legs' face, but yep, there it is. I love this kind of stuff. Cups, dishes, things that aren't dollies necessarily. This aircraft is gigantic.
That's what she said.
I don't remember who makes it, what the name of the company is. I'm sure somebody could actually it in the comments, but it is based off the AC-130 Spectre or Spooky, the Hercules. And all I did was I just put some Joe markings all over this vehicle, and there it is hanging out. You'll have to excuse the ceiling again. Remember, it's a garage. So great vehicle, and it's very large, takes up a lot of space. I used to have it on the aft deck of my USS Flag, but I decided to put it on the wall. Another poster of Carson's vehicle playset box art. There's another poster of Carson's vehicle and playset box art, and in front of that is my complete A-Team Interceptor bomber. Again, just like the Silver Mirage, don't look at this too closely or it'll just disintegrate. These things are very fragile. The plastic is brittle. And I have some sticky tack in the cockpit because it doesn't lock shut. It's only kind of held closed by gravity. So with it hanging on the wall, the cockpit likes to kind of fall perpendicular to the vehicle. Over here, this is my Skeletron hat given to me by Mark and Ben at Joe Fest 2021. 22, probably 22. There's a sealed steel brigade. This is a signed baseball card from Ron Rudat with a little personal note on the back. Again, not dollies, but I love that kind of stuff in my collection. I'm kind of going in weird directions here. This is one of my G.I. Joe Warthogs. There is a retro Walmart stalker. I love the sculpt of that figure. This is the San Diego Comic-Con Transformer G.I. Joe exclusive Snake Eyes. You can see the Autobot symbol on his shoulder, and he has the camouflage pants on. MP10 Optimus Prime. I did put G.I. Joe stickers on him because, you know, Joe and Transformers, they intermingle in my world. Here is my Thunderclap. Such a great vehicle. It has all sorts of toyetic play features to it. It's got the front vehicle, and then this section with the main gun actually separates, you know, and these legs come down for stability. The breech on the cannon works. You can fire these shells from the cannon and then clear the breech. I have a bunch of kit-bashed modern Joes in here. That modern retro grunt goes a long way. You just put goggles, different heads, different helmets, and you can make troopers for days. But the Thunderclap, awesome vehicle, and it's the thumbnail for this video, actually. Moving on over here, we have the Vamp Mark II with tan clutch, because you gotta have tan clutch with the Vamp Mark II. There's the blueprint for the Vamp Mark II. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Hound Vamp. And Clutch is he's just chilling there, but also he's jamming out to some tunes provided by Blaster in his boombox mode. There is the G.I. Joe Transformer crossover Bumble Striker or Bumblebee. Again, this guy has vac metallized parts when Megatron does not. Kind of weird. There's RC. If you remember her from a few minutes ago when she decided to take a nosedive off the shelf. There is one of the 3D Joe's figure and card art posters. Love that poster. This is my desk, and I have to keep pushing my chair out of the way. Let me back up. Here is my desk. And this is where the magic happens. Next to the 3D Joe's poster, this is a poster that was given to me by Jason Packard. Jason Packard, that's him right there. He mains the costume of Crimson Guard Immortal. I'm not going to move my light because I like it like that. And then there's a Viper and a Crimson Guard, but a really awesome poster, and that is like a photoshopped G.I. Joe mobile battle bunker that's on fire behind him. But a great poster, and I thought it went really well here. Over here is another one of the figure and card art posters from 3djoes.com. This is my actually Mark Belomo 3rd edition hardcover ultimate guide to G.I. Joe. Thank you very much. These are invaluable. Such an awesome wealth of information. More patches. Air Force, because, you know, we share and trade patches. My one and only adventure people person guy. Adventure person. Sure, singular, but there he is. And his vehicle is next to my flag. There's some of my 2.5-inch mask guys. Every good Cobra agent has to have a Cobra lapel pin. Sometimes when I'm feeling spunky, I will wear that as a tie pin. There's another one of the domes. It's obviously 85 Snake Eyes with the night visor. This is something that again, not dollies, but just super cool. This is Secret Mission to Spy Island, G.I. Joe Adventure Team book and record. So it's the, you listen to the 45 record and read along in the book. And then here is the Peter Pan 45 record. Not a single scratch on that baby. But just, fun stuff. And you read along in the book. But pretty fun. Put this back where it was. Here is the modern version of the G.I. Joe Law or laser artillery weapon. It's got some added detail on it. And there is the modern version of Silver Pad's Grand Slam, as you can tell by the Joe logo, the eagle and the star on his chest. This is the original 1982 metal thermos G.I. Joe lunchbox with the thermos inside. There's a Transformers lunchbox. I love this kind of stuff. Everyone's least favorite Tiger Force figure, Tiger Force Lifeline. It's a Tiger Force thermos. I found it at some thrift store, but it didn't have the lid. Do not care. Still fun. Next to that are these books. G.I. Joe Order of Battle, #1. It's got all sorts of character and vehicle information in it. Great book. If you don't have it, I suggest pick one up. G.I. Joe Order of Battle #1. This is G.I. Joe Battle Files source book. Again, kind of the same stuff, but a little more modern and updated. So you're going to find newer figures in here, or newer characters in here, say like a Bomb Strike or something like that, that you're not going to find in the Order of Battle. But fun books. Moving down here, here's another Domes. It's Duke. The guys at Scalatron are so rad, they gave me a bottle opener. I don't drink, but it's still fun, and I just kept it. This little nook right here, and this is kind of why I like using these cinder blocks. A, because Uncle Sam tells us to pick up and move. I just sell these bricks to somebody locally and whatever, pick some new ones up elsewhere. But I like how I can use these little cubbies in here. This cubby is full of like stickers. This sticker glows in the dark. But as a member of the Finest Costume Club, I really love all of our finest patches and stickers and things like that, but they're really awesome. And my good friend James Only makes all this stuff, but a lot of this is stickers and letters. I have Christmas cards and letters from people in here. And yeah, so that's a fun little shelf. This shelf right here has this book, Knockoffs, by Brian Hellier. If you have not seen this book, try to pick it up. You can find it on Amazon in softcover like this, but it's such an awesome, wacky book. But there are some ridiculous knockoff figures out there in the world. And then it has all of my rank and file volumes from James Cavanaugh Jr. This is all the modern figures. There's also another version of this that has all the Valor versus Venom and Joe versus Cobra. Another series of this book. But yeah, rank and file. There's 5 of these, and they cover all the modern stuff. And then right here, I just have, Valor versus Venom, Dusty and Zartan. Just because, just fun. And then come down here again. Here's another one of those domes. It's sealed because it's one of those mystery box things. You don't know what's in it. So I never even bothered to open it. G.I. Joe Extreme! Extreme! I only have one Extreme figure because I like the cannon that he came with. here are volumes 7 through 13. I just got volume 13. This is a sealed one. I haven't opened one. Of Creating G.I. Joe by Dan Klingensmith. This is my G.I. Joe Fan Club 2022 membership kit. I'm not going to open that. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. This is the card back that was made for the Creating G.I. Joe Kickstarter of Zartan. And everyone knows that Zartan was never released in our neck of the woods on a single card. Now, Takara and things like that, sure, but not with Real American Hero in the United States or the Western Hemisphere. But yeah, here's the card back. And it's beautiful. They do such a great job with these card backs. But that came with one of the volumes, and I just kind of keep that sucker tucked in here. Down here, I just have some, you know, whatever. This is a bunch of challenge coins in here. This is a USB capture card if I want to capture video games. Python Patrol lanyard, so just, you know, goofy stuff. Oh, and speaking of goofy stuff, G.I. Joe Uncensored group is where all the trash goes. Yeah. This is the view that a lot of people see when I unbox something. This is my turntable, and I will put things on here to unbox them or review them whenever I do reviews, which is pretty rare, but yeah. It's that little soundproof wall. Underneath my turntable, this is the G.I. Joe Rhino. It's a more modern vehicle, really rad. Again, right? This is when Joe still had a lot of play features. You could take these weapons off. You can put them on other sides of the vehicle. There's just all sorts of cool stuff you can do with these, just moving them around. So now I can't get that back on with one hand. The little plane that pops out of the top of it is missing. And it's missing for a reason, and we'll get into that in a future episode. This is a little M998 command post that I got from Amazon. I don't remember the brand, but I just put some G.I. Joe stickers on it. I put Dusty in there because, you know, he fits. And he's manning the M249 squad automatic weapon, or SAW, with a big old dirty trash can optic on it. So he's just hanging out there. Down here, and again, I apologize, I'm not using my ring light, but a lot of stuff reflects on this side of the room. This is that little fast attack tank vehicle that Roadblock uses in Retaliation. I don't remember the name of it. Somebody can actually me. But yeah. You know where I could have found that information? I could have found that information in there, rank and file. But I didn't go look it up. Right here is my Night Striker that I am in the process of restoring. I've left this just as it was when I purchased it with all the attic crud on it. But I'm almost done amassing all the parts to restore her to her original glory. And when I do, it will not be displayed on this shelf. You can guarantee that. Down here I have the G.I. Joe Ford America. You know, again, it's one of those vehicles where it folds down into a play set. It was a really innovative design, and it's pretty fun. This is one of those dyno capture M-wraps where the front folds down and it has that little globe, and I took all those features out. I put on a 3D printed what's called a Crows 2, or a common remote operated weapon system Mark II, and it swivels on the stand, and I just have it sitting on the top of the vehicle like that. I put some Joe stickers on this vehicle, and I think the Crows works really well because that's pretty real world. Not so much the you know, the Gatling gun on it, but having a remote weapon system on a vehicle like this is absolutely how we're going to roll. And then again, because those General Hawks were cheap, I got a bunch of them hanging out in the back of this vehicle. So just a simple, what they call it, sticker slapping, label slapping. I just made a little quick label slap Joe vehicle. I didn't even really repaint it. I just put some stickers on it. And next to my turntable cabinet are these shields. And the Mam and I picked these up Joe Fest last year in 2022. Somebody just, made them out of wood, and they're pretty fun. They actually have, the little handle on the back, and it's all kind of industrially built, but they're neat. And yeah. So they're just hanging out over here. And now I will show you the desk. This is my desk. This is where I stream. This is where I make all my content, edit everything, whatever. This is like everything that comes from my channel pours out of this area right here. And this is my view while I'm streaming and we're all kind of hanging out on the YouTubes. This is the view that I have. It's not a bad view. So when we come over here and look at the desk, camera, microphone, and then I have all sorts of stuff on the desk. So again, being a member of the Finest, I have Finest patches everywhere. This is the His Tank patch that Mikey Kukovic from JMK Custom Works sent me in one of my recent videos. Here's, of course, Chunky Tank Kitty. Picked this up at Joe Fest this year. I have a lot of challenge coins. This is the challenge coin that came with the G.I. Joe Fan Club membership kit from James Kavanaugh. And I just thought that was a very beautiful challenge coin. But I have just challenge coins everywhere. There's Sci-Fi. There is my co-pilot on road trips and my live streaming co-host, Skidmark. That's where Skidmark generally lives when he's not hanging out on my microphone. Those of us who own USS flags know that we're part of what's called the Admirals Club, and this is an Admirals Club patch. Big fan of patches. This is the patch for my squadron in the Finest Costume Club. So this is the Southwest Rattler Squadron. We're called a squadron, not a garrison, because we don't have as many members as a garrison would. Again, right, in New Mexico, there's not a lot of people who costume G.I. Joe in New Mexico. But this is our patch. It's very cool. I'll put that there. Down here on the desktop, I have another Finest patch. I have Slaughter's Marauders patch, and this is the Blue Ridge garrison of the Finest, and this is a canine support patch. Part of what we do with the Finest is we raise money for veterans to get service dogs, and that's what this challenge coin is. So yeah, we raise money supporting veterans, something that I obviously believe very strongly in. This is the challenge coin from the Mam from several years ago. I want to say 2019, 2020, when she was still a platoon leader in the infantry. And so she was 2nd Platoon, Bravo Company 1-200 Infantry, and this is the 2nd Platoon Heathens. So this is the coin that she would coin her soldiers with when she was still a young PL. There's my boy Lowlight. He's just pulling security on my desk. There's my Cobra Incinerator. Again, more Finest patches. This guy, I'm going to zoom in. This Creo Sergeant Slaughter was a gift to me from my friend Gaz. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I have 2 more Creo figures. So there's a Night Creeper, and then, of course, my dude Lowlight. Gotta have my dude Lowlight, right? Got some of the die-cast metal Joe figures, some more cards. I believe this is Eco Warrior Ozone's helmet. Yeah, I don't remember what I was doing with this. I think I was going to use it to make a mask figure. Here's one of the rings, because the rings are fun. Old school Joe rings. This is a Matchbox Megaforce Mega Destroyer, even though it's branded Desert Patrol. You can see the U.S. Army tagging on it, but they did that a lot with the Mega Destroyer mold for Matchbox, even though there it is, you can see the lasers in the down position, the 3 rockets on the top. Such a fantastic vehicle design. I love the Mega Destroyer, and I love Megaforce because the good guys always win, even in 2023. This is one of the Cobra, the little sound boxes from the modern box sets. The sound doesn't work in it anymore. And like I was saying earlier, so this is volume 13 of Creating G.I. Joe Real American Hero by Dan Klingensmith. A fantastic volume. I haven't gotten that far into it yet, but it is really awesome. And I also got this with it. This is why I didn't want to use my ring light, because this would be nothing but light. This is the officially licensed card back for Night Force Low Light and Blaster that were going to come in a 2-pack, but they were never produced. So this was recreated and officially recreated by Dan Klingensmith and Adam Riches. Adam Riches did the art. It's just such a great card back, and the card back, it's so solid on these. Look at that. Just fantastic work. Real file cards. Yeah. Awesome collection. I'm going to frame this, and I will probably put it in my game room. That's where that's going to go. And last but not least, on this wall in my Joe room is just this little table that I have off to the side. Nothing crazy going on. This is the assembly required little name tag command file that Mikey Kukovic sent me from that same video. The cards that he sent me. This is from Jason Packard. This is a Night Force Night Boomer Captain Bob patch. Again, big fan of patches. And then, I just got a bunch of stickers everywhere. So I got the MAM, I got Cobra Convergence, I got 3POA, of course. I have Nacelle, I have my brother Jay Bartlett, absolutely. And then I have some of Pendragon Design, Chad LaForce's stickers. This is a little 3D printed light that somebody made. I picked that up at Southwest Toy Mania. Pretty fun. And that is part 2 of my Joe room tour. And I'm so close to this wall, can't even see it all. But yeah, there's part 2. We'll get into this side on another video. There you have it. Part 2 of my Joe room tour. I thank everybody who's been enjoying this Joe room tour series so far. I had to do it a little bit differently. Again, it's not as many dollies as part 1 was. It was more collectibles, patches, challenge coins, things like that. Stuff that's kind of near and dear to me. That's not just little plastic dollies and shelfies. That being said, leave a comment below. Let's talk some Joe. Let me know what you think, and have an awesome day.